Hey everybody, so welcome back to my channel. As you can see, I'm a little bit more put together today, but still kind of like getting used to this mom thing. So I did have a baby boy. I went into, as you all know from my last video, I was induced and it didn't happen that way. So I went in on a Sunday at 6 p.m. and they prepped me and everything. I fast forward, I stayed at 5 centimeters for about 18 hours. And once they realized, because they ruptured my water bag, when they realized that I wasn't going past 5 centimeters, they said C-section it is. So this experience has been crazy because I realized that I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was, and also that a little person inside of you makes you like do things that you never thought you would do. So I had to have a C-section that morning. I think it was Tuesday morning, which when he was born. Tuesday morning they realized that I wasn't progressing in a vaginal birth. So she decided to do a C-section. She said, "Are you ready for this?" I'm like, "I have no choice." And so me and Reggie were kind of like really nervous because a C-section was like the last thing on my mind, furthest thing from my mind. And so they prepped me within 30 minutes. And I was just so nervous because I was like, can I do this? You know, like, am I mentally prepared for like surgery? And so the anesthesiologist, he came in and he was like, he brought in like this bag of ice in a glove, and he said, "Do you feel, you know, coldness right here?" I was like, "Yeah." "Do you feel it right here?" "Yeah." He put it on my stomach and all of that. Like, I'm supposed to be numb from my, like, under my boob down. So I didn't feel any coldness. I just didn't. And so he was like, "Okay, fine, you're ready to go." And let me go back, rewind real quick. So the night before they made this decision to do a C-section, I was having issues with feeling contractions on one side only. So they gave me the epidural, which that scared the crap out of me. If like the sound of it makes me freak out now. But I was having issues that night. My left side, I felt contractions bad. My right side felt nothing. So I kept calling the nurses and I kept calling the anesthesiologist in, and they kept giving me stuff. Like kept giving me more doses. And so I was like, I still feel it. And they kept giving me Pitocin, which Pitocin speeds up the the inducing part. Every 4 hours they give it to you. And for me, everybody reacts differently, and they did tell me some people have really bad chills. I was one of those people. When I tell you, I felt like I've never done drugs or anything like that, but I felt like I was having withdrawals. Like it was like your body is like so cold. It doesn't matter how many blankets you put on, warm blankets, anything, you will feel like cold from the inside out. Like somebody dumped cold ice water in your body. And so I just kept saying, "Please don't give me this Pitocin, please don't give me this Pitocin." So I felt like after all of this, and I know you have to prep and see like how your body reacts to all of these things, but I was like, I went through so much pain for no reason. Like because they just decided to do a C-section anyway. Which when they ruptured my water bag, he did Elijah, he's over there sleeping, but he did come down. His head was stuck though. It didn't go past, it was trying to like, he was trying to move downward, but it didn't go further than that. It stayed at 5 centimeters, nothing progressed. So fast forward, they made me sign consent forms and stuff like that too, just to make sure that everything was okay to do the C-section. And me and Reggie, you know, he prepped, he put on his scrubs because he was in the room. My mom wanted to be in the room, but there could only be one person because there were so many, well, they had doctors and a bunch of nurses in the room. So I said, well, here we go. Now, if you remember, from my last doctor's visit, or one of my doctor's visits, they told me that he was going to be underweight, he was undernourished at one time. I already told you before about how they thought he would have Down syndrome, that whole situation. So it's so crazy because when they got into surgery, they prepped me and I felt like Frankenstein. Like I was under this huge like big light, and you know, just kind of like strapped down to the bed, and they just, you know, prepped me for all of that, and I felt like I wasn't gonna feel anything. So Reggie comes in and all I kept thinking was like, where's Reggie, where's Reggie? Because they had me going first to prep me, and then Reggie was gonna come in 15 minutes later, but I thought they were starting. So I was like, wait, where's Reggie, where's Reggie? Like, go get him right now. And they were like, he's coming, he's in the room, he's right here. So I was so nervous. I was just really, really nervous. So basically what happened was they started from my left side, cutting to my right side. Now, if you remember the night before, I had feeling on my left side. And no, I had feeling of contractions on my left side and not on my right. In the like in the surgery room, I had no feeling on my left side, but I had feeling on my right side. So I felt them cutting through my stomach. I felt it. And when you go in, they tell you you're only supposed to feel pressure. Like, think of it like you're going to the dentist and you're getting your teeth pulled or getting a filling, and you're supposed to feel pressure. You know that they're doing something, but you just don't know what. No, I felt like that on my left side, but when they got to my right, I felt them cutting into my skin. So I was like freaking out because I'm just like, am I supposed to feel this? Am I supposed to feel this? And they're like, what do you feel? And I told them, I can tell you right now where you're cutting. So it was crazy because they kind of like tried to speed up a little bit. They got him out. I heard him cry. And I started crying because I was just like, oh my God, like I can't believe he's here. And when I heard him cry, it stopped. And everybody in the room, the doctors, the nurses, everybody got quiet because my doctor thought he was gonna be like underweight and short. And he came out 8 pounds and, okay, so he came out 8 pounds and 5 ounces and 20 inches long. No Down syndrome, no health issues, no nothing. He came out perfectly fine. And Reggie was so shocked because we didn't expect him to be, you know, well, let me tell you, we prayed so much, so God exceeded our expectations. And we just praised him so much because we couldn't believe that this was like, first of all, that he was here. First of all, Reggie was like, he went to the side, cut the umbilical cord. And although I was in so much pain, the feeling of like knowing that someone who's been in you for 9 months that you finally get to meet is just the most, it's like a really great thing, you know, especially all that we've been through this year. It's like the best thing in the world. So, and Reggie like automatically was attached to him. Like he held him, he did not let him out of his sight at all. And so it was just the cutest little thing. But after that, I had issues with recovery. So right now Elijah is 9 days old, and we had to stay in the hospital for a week. He wasn't really considered a NICU baby, but he was, because when they ruptured my water bag, his head was exposed, so his white blood count was a little bit high, so they had to give him antibiotics for I think like the first 3 days. Oh, hold on, he's up, he's crying. Well, let me show you. And the only reason I have his blanket like this is because I'm watching him. So normally I would have him in a swaddle. So say, hey man. But anyways, so we were in the hospital. They transferred me to a different room, and it was hard because I couldn't walk. My right side, I had issues with my nerves, so I couldn't, my right side was not really controlled. My left side was okay. The pain was just, it was a lot. I wasn't mentally prepared, but the kind of person that I am, I don't like to sit down. I don't like to be in the bed. And so I had to work on it. They made me walk, I think, the next day. And I've always played sports, so like I push myself. I'm like, I like to do fitness and stuff like that, and me and Reggie are both like that. So he helped me so much. When I tell you, Reggie, like, I couldn't even imagine not having his support. He was in the hospital. I mean, of course it's his kid too, but he was in the hospital every single day just encouraging me to walk and saying that like I was gonna get better and all of these things. And I don't really have like postpartum like depression or anything like that. The only thing that I had issues with is that, like, man, like I pray that like nothing's wrong with me, that I don't have blood clots, that I'm not like paralyzed on one side, or whatever the case may be. Like, I need to be there for Reggie and my son. And we just kept praying about it. Reggie helped me walk every single day. I have a walker over here in the corner, which I don't use now, but in the hospital I use it every single day. I couldn't go to the bathroom. I couldn't do anything without my walker or someone helping me to get up. And it was just a really like sad moment, but also, you know, I was happy because I could hold my baby. He was okay. And when they took him into the NICU, she explained to me that nothing was wrong with him, that they were just taking precautions. So it was like, you know, he was like kind of not taken away from me, but he was. But they brought him back, and the nurses were so sweet. Like, my mom baked them cookies. They were so excited about it, but they were so sweet and very supportive. Like, all of the nurses would come in and tell me how good I was doing, how my baby was so beautiful, and just saying all of these nice encouraging things. And although I had a bad experience in the C-section, I know that like they did everything they could to make sure that I was comfortable. They have me doing physical therapy now, which I can walk so much better now, y'all. Like, I didn't think that I would be able to, but I'm like doing so much better. I'm happy. I'm able to like hold him, and I'm breastfeeding him, and it's just been a good experience overall. Like my mom said, you're going through all of this pain in the moment, but you're gonna forget it as soon as you leave that hospital. Like, you won't even remember how painful it was. And she's right. Like, I remember the experience, but I don't remember every single painful moment. Now that you're like now that I'm recovering, I don't feel tied down. I know that like as long as you're positive and you keep pushing and you push your body to the next level to make sure that you're recovering correctly and you just follow the doctor's orders. Now I'm down to taking absolutely like no medicine. At first I was like calling the nurse like, bring me this, bring me that, bring me this, like I need it for pain. But like when the nurses weren't in the room and I was just like sitting there, like had nothing to do with, or Reggie was taking a nap or whatever, I would just get up and get my walker and walk up and down the hallway. Because being in that room where you can't really see outside, I went to the end of the hallway where the window was and just saw like, you know, like what type of weather it was, or like who was outside, what was going on, and just to kind of get my mind off of like not being able to spring into action and go do this and go do that. So I tried to find like positivity in small things. Reggie made me laugh every single day. You know, he made sure that I had everything that I needed. And you know, it was hard at first because Elijah, they gave him antibiotics, which made him fussy. They also gave him Similac without my permission, of course, but in the NICU they do whatever they, you know, whatever comes to their mind just to like, you know, get the baby to be quiet. So they gave him that and it tore his stomach up. he had bad gas, he was fussy, and so I already couldn't walk, I already couldn't do anything, and so Reggie had to take over a lot, and I commend him. You know, he never had an attitude with me, he never got mad with me, like he just was supportive of me and like did everything that he could to make sure that I was okay. He took care of Elijah, he changed his diaper, he fed him, you know, everything. He helped me with learning how to breastfeed. The lactation nurses would come in and he would like come on the side and help me hold them and do all of these things. And so it was just like it was a blessing. It was a great experience. It definitely helped me and Reggie to grow so much closer. Y'all, like if y'all are in a relationship and y'all are going through like situations where you don't know if you can get through it, I promise you can. Like Reggie and I, we prayed so much, we just said such powerful and uplifting things to each other, and we got through it, and we're doing really well. We work well as a team. And as of right now, Elijah, he sleeps really well. He's a good baby. He eats a lot. We just did his doctor's appointment on Tuesday, and he's almost close back to his birth weight, because when you're born, you lose 10% of your body weight of like fluids that were built up in you, that were built up in them while they were in the womb. And he came out 8.5. He dropped down to I think 7.14, and now he's back up to 8.1 or 2. So we have another appointment for him on this upcoming Tuesday, and I'm sure he will be back to his original size, because he eats like crazy. It's ridiculous. I can't even keep up, but I'm trying to get my breast milk supply at a good level for him. But anyways, the summer like really messed him up, so he was really fussy, and it was just a lot at one time. And sometimes I did cry. The physical therapist in the hospital, she came to help me, and she tried to push me to get up, and I just cried. I just cried so much, because it was a lot of emotion. But like I said, I really commend I went to East Jefferson. If you're from New Orleans, you know where that is, in Metairie. But I just commend them so much, because they're such positive people, and everyone on staff really made sure that I was like prepared for when I got home. When I got home, I knew everything I was supposed to do: breastfeeding, how often I should breastfeed him, how often I should pump, how to hold him, how to change him. He got his circumcision, so he was also fussy about that, but how to clean it, what to do. Like when I tell you I have paperwork over there, like they gave me tons of stuff. Also, for you women who are about to have babies soon, when you go to your hospital, do not be scared to ask them for if you need extra this, extra that. They will give it to you. I know my hospital gave me a lot of stuff. I had to find places to put like bottles. They give you like all of the parts to the breast pump. Like they give you extra pieces, because they're just gonna throw it away after you leave. They gave me disposable underwear, pads. I'm trying to think of what else. Pacifiers. Matter of fact, the pacifiers, I know they're hard to find. My sister told me that they're hard to find. So I asked for an extra one. They gave it to me. They gave me this little water bottle. This thing, y'all, keeps the water cold forever. But like, don't be afraid to ask them for anything. They're there to help you, and they want you to go home, you know, making sure that you are completely prepared. And I felt completely prepared when I got home. I was still trying to walk and learn how to walk. The physical therapist now comes to my home. I think next week is my last week though, because she said I made a really great, you know, I'm making great progress. But I feel great. I feel like I'm gonna recover really well. My next appointment is on Tuesday. I go first to my appointment, and then we bring Elijah to his pediatrician. My mom has been coming with us. She took off for 4 weeks just to help me, and I'm so grateful that she's here, because although I felt prepared, it's still a lot, because you try to kind of go back to your old routine, but you have to like put him first. You have to, you know, incorporate your routine into his life. And I feel like I'm getting better at that. But you know, he's such a good baby. He's so sweet. And we on our Instagram page, Vibing with the Meads, I put a poll on there just to kind of see who people think that, you know, he looks like. So I put a picture of Reggie's baby picture in mine, and Reggie's winning right now, but I think that he looks like me a lot in certain angles. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I feel blessed. I'm so happy that he's here now, and I just can't wait for like the upcoming, like, you know, things like when he eats real food, or when he starts to walk, or when he starts to talk. Like, it's just like a crazy, I don't know, it's crazy. It's weird that it's already been like over a week. Like, I mean, it's just a really good experience. But I hope that you all like this video. Please let me know how your C-section experience, or even like your pregnancy experience was. I know I talked to Reggie's cousin, and she had a C-section for both of her kids, a boy and a girl, and her experience was very similar to mine. Not with not being able to walk, but like everything else before that, like saying that her son might have this wrong with him and that wrong with him and blah blah. I don't want to air out her business, but it was very similar to mine. So I was happy that someone was had very similar stories to mine that I could talk to, because and see how to deal with it. Because you sometimes do feel like, how do I deal with this? Like, I don't know, you know, what is next coming up, like, to experience with this, and like if I'm gonna walk, or how I'm gonna feel, or whatever. And so to hear her validate like her story and all of those things just made me feel really good and gave me hope. Because, you know, when you're like unable to do things, you feel like restricted, or at least that's how I felt. And you know, so hearing that made me feel a lot better. So I want to see your guys' comments down below to let you know, to help other women, to help me deal with things. But also make sure that you have a really great support system, even if it's just one person. I luckily have my parents and Reggie, and my sister, but you know, and my other family members, my grandparents and stuff like that, and Reggie's family. But make sure that you have at least one person next to you that can support you in these situations, because it is hard. Women go through so much, and let me tell you something, the power of a woman is just crazy and out of this world, because we push babies out, and then they also depend on us after, while we're recovering. They depend on your they need you for everything. So, you know, shout out to all the women, shout out to all the moms that are going into labor soon, or going through a pregnancy right now for the first time, or multiple times. You know, each experience is different, and so, you know, I'm just happy that mine came out in a positive way, you know, overall. But yeah, so I would like to see you guys' comments. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel, and we are going to be uploading a lot of new videos. So comment below to see what videos you want to see from me and Reggie, separately or together. And also there's a bell notification button, just click that and you'll be updated every time that we post something new to our channel. So I hope you guys like this video. Let me know if you like it. Give this video a thumbs up. All right, thank you. Bye.